Hey guys, doing well today. So before I start this video, definitely click that subscribe button below as well as comment if you can. So the Springboks have just announced their starting 15 for the first warm-up test against Georgia. A very interesting squad to say the least. Of course, this is their first starting 15 since the World Cup final against England, of course, so it's very interesting to see, which players they've selected. Of course, I want to buy with you guys and tell you what I think about them, but yeah, unfortunately, the Georgian squad isn't out yet, so I've just decided to go with the Springbok squad only, but more or less, this is going to be a very interesting squad to go over. So obviously, here is the starting lineup, obviously, for the Springboks, and yeah, I'll run them by with you guys, tell you what I think about them, and yeah, I'll give my prediction right afterwards for the whole game itself. So of course, with the Springboks, for their front row, they have gone with the likes of, Nietzsche as well as Nkanye as their props. It's a very interesting selection, to say the least. Obviously, they haven't gone with their starters in those positions, of course, who are Klitschkov as well as Malherbe. So it's one of those which I understand why they've gone with those two, because you want to build up, you can say, a bit more experience from these types of players, as well as, because they're obviously going to be injected into that, I'd say, into the test, of course, I'd say coming off the bench, in my opinion. But you never know. There's also a chance maybe for them to prove a point. Maybe they get into the starting lineup, we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, I'm very happy with the likes of Nietzsche as well as in Kanye, because both of them are pretty good within the scrum, so I don't really have any issues with that one. Obviously with the hooker, they have gone with Inbom Mambe, so it's a pretty good selection there. Obviously he brings a lot of experience in that hooker spot. I think he's 33 at this point in time, and I believe obviously he has recently transferred over to the Sharks from the Stormers, so obviously he will be playing for the Sharks in the near future. But obviously for the South Africans, this is his first game, I believe, since that World Cup as well, so it's going to be a very interesting. It'll be interesting to see how he plays within this one, because it's more or less like, I would say he's done pretty well for the Stormers, obviously for the Western Province, but it's more like where he needs to translate that form into the Springboks, which can be a different playing field. So we'll have to wait and see what he does within that position. But overall, he's pretty good with his lineup throw, so hopefully he can just continue that. Of course, for the locks, they have gone with the likes of Elizabeth as well as Franco Mostad. So yeah, pretty good selection there. In my opinion, probably the two best locks, and what I personally think they should go with for the starting for the test series. But we'll have to wait and see if they go with that selection. And of course, they do have the likes of RJ Simon. They have the likes of who else? They have Oria as well, he's done brilliantly. So it's one of those, they have a lot of players that actually select from within that position. So I'm not really going to say those are the main two, but it's probably what I would have gone with. So very happy with that lock pairing for sure. Obviously with the loose forwards, they have gone with the likes of Kolisi at 6, obviously Captain Marvel, to say the least, and yeah, what a brilliant player he is. So yeah, very excited to see him play once again. Of course at 7, they have gone with Du Toit, so Peter Stefan Toit, obviously coming back from his World Cup performances, and of course the Player of the Year for that year. So yeah, hopefully you can kind of translate that form within this game, and obviously throughout the whole series itself. And then of course at number 8, they've actually gone with Quagga Smith, which is very interesting to see, of course, with no Dwayne Vermeulen, of course, with this big injury. Not too sure how long he's going to be out for. Of course, it's not as big as it is. Obviously, he's already done his surgery, so that's the great thing to hear. But it's just obviously that recovery time, which we'll have to wait and see if he's able to come back in. But yeah, I kind of like Quagga Smith at 8. He's done very well, obviously, from his projection from like the 7s, obviously coming up all the ranks into that Springbok squad. So yeah, very happy for him to actually be starting at 8. And yeah, I think if there's another player who would probably go there, it's probably Riesi, obviously the youngster, but it's really between him and Quagga Smith, in my opinion, for that 8 position at this point in time. But yeah, very happy to see Quagga Smith at that 8 position. So of course, for the backs, they have gone with the likes of Reinach at 9, as well as Andre Pollard at 10, and that's probably the biggest name to hear so far. Of course, with he was heavily speculated, to say the least, that he wasn't even going to be participating within this whole Lions series. But of course, he had an injury beforehand, which kind of meant that there were rumors around floating that he wouldn't be able to participate. But of course, he's made it in time. He's been playing for Montpellier, and yeah, he's been able to play a few games for them. And obviously, it's kind of good for him to play those few games, because obviously now he's able to get back into that rugby kind of mindset. So yeah, very happy that he's obviously starting for the Springboks, and yeah, hopefully continues his kicking form, because that's going to be very crucial for within this game, and of course throughout the whole Lions series as well. Reinach as well, very happy to see him at 9. Of course, there was no Flapper Kirk for everyone asking why he's not in there. Of course, he is still traveling back to South Africa at this point, and even like Herschel Yankees on the bench. There's obviously a few players who were, including Herschel Yankees, who were one of the 3, I believe, who tested positive for COVID, of course. within the last week. But yeah, obviously that's been all sorted now, and obviously Herschel Yankees has been included from the bench, so it's one of those which it's all been dealt with. I believe the three players were Herschel Yankees, Vincent Koch, and Kolisi. So one of those obviously which it was highly speculated that could have caused a bit of damage towards the camp, but it's been taken care of, so that's a good thing to hear. Yeah, obviously with the centres, they have gone with the likes of Francis Stein as well as Jesse Cleal. So yeah, very happy with that selection. Of course, they can't go with the likes of Damien Delende. Again, another player who's still travelling into this African camp and hasn't been too much involved in the process so far. So yeah, I understand why Francis Stein has obviously been selected ahead of him. But obviously that might change later on down the lines. Even the likes of Lucanio Am as well. Obviously he hasn't been able to... to be honest, I'm surprised they haven't gone with Lucanio Am, but at the same time, Jesse Cleal, he's a solid option to go for, so not really going to go too much into that spot as well. I mean, obviously for the wingers, this is probably the biggest selection, I'd say, for the wingers and what they've gone with. They've actually gone with the likes of Fassi at the 11th spot, and obviously Rosso Speckman at the 14th. So very interested to see that they've gone with those two wingers, because obviously, there's no Mpimpi as well as Cheslin Kobe. Obviously, Cheslin Kobe is one of the players who's obviously coming back into the camp, so he wasn't going to be available for this game, no matter what. But very surprising to see no Mpimpi, to be frank. I mean, Fassi is a very good player, but obviously he doesn't play normally at 11. No, he's normally at 15 in my opinion. In my opinion, he's like the successor towards Willie Ruru, who's obviously played at 15. But it's one of those which it should be very interesting to see how he does within that position. I mean, personally, I would have gone with someone like, even like Damien Williamson. I mean, he could probably play that position better. But it's one of those which I understand why they go on Fiassi, because obviously he's a quick and skillful player within that left side, and they need someone like that. So, fully understand that. And of course, they go on with the likes of Russell Speckman at 14. Very happy to see him involved for the Springboks. I mean, I've watched him for such a long time now. Throughout his career, even throughout the sevens, and obviously coming into the Super Rugby teams, with the Bulls and all of them. So it's one of those which, he's done brilliantly for them, and obviously to get into the Springbok squad, I'm very happy to see him in. But yeah, obviously, like I said before, Willie Roo obviously makes up that last spot for the 15th spot, brings a lot of experience to the camp, and I'm not really going to argue that position because he's the number one pick for the 15th spot at this point in time still. But yeah, that's kind of it with the squad, really. I mean, very impressed overall, I'd say, from this selection. Obviously, this is Jack Lee's first, you could say, starting 15 selection that he's going to do for the Springboks. So very interesting to see, the players he's gone with. Obviously, he hasn't been able to utilize every player, given to him. Obviously, there are still a few players who obviously are coming into the camp, this week or even last week. So it's one of those which he's had to go with players, obviously, who's, been in the camp more often. But totally understand his situation, and yeah, it should be a very interesting game against Georgia. Just very excited as a Springbok fan. Very excited. This is just can't wait. This is their Springboks' first game since the World Cup. But yeah, definitely comment below to tell me what you guys think about the squad. I'm so excited for this game. But yeah, definitely comment below if you agree or disagree with the selections here. But yeah, other than that, just hope you guys have a good day. And yeah, I'll talk to you guys soon.